First one we're going to watch today is Mom Walks with Dead 3-year-old in Stroller. I don't think I read that whole title when I added it to the list. But let's just hop right in, shall we?
The baby was unconscious.
He had bruises from head to toe.
Your excuses now.
You're going to be under arrest right now.
I get him in trouble. I have nothing. I have no support. I have nobody.
What are you protecting?
What
happened?
I was going to be next.
After years in foster care, a 3-year-old boy is reunited with his mother, only to suffer a horrific accident just 3 months later. But the truth is written on his small body, and it paints a far darker picture than anyone has been led to believe.
Robert told her to stick to the story or you'll never see it again.
Just hold on, Pops. Just hold on, Pops.
The following is based on official police records, and most of the footage has never been seen before until now. At 3:20 p.m., June 14, 2023, dispatchers in Cleveland, Ohio receive an urgent call to 911.
Cleveland EMS with the address to the emergency. Yes, we need some paramedic here on 79th and Euclid here, and I believe this Gordon Square. Is this at the Family Dollar? Stop breathing. I guess he fell at a park, a water park. She's been...
Officers with the Cleveland Division of Police arrive on scene, where paramedics have already begun life-saving efforts on 3-year-old Curtis Witcher, who is still unresponsive.
Did you see what happened in there?
No, he was not here. She came up and ran in the dollar store and asked all of us for our phones. We all called 911. I was on the ground with I don't mean to call him this, but the Caucasian man. He was giving them air and I was trying to search for his pulse. He did not have a pulse since he got here.
Was she iffy about saying Caucasian man? I've never heard that before. Just call him white, it's okay. It's like people being afraid to say black. Just reminds me of that.
I mean, what happened to the baby though? Like,
We don't know. She said he fell. Yeah, she in the
There
van.
she go. She had 2 kids with her. A double
They said,
stroller.
are they going to take him to the hospital?
yeah, we're going right now.
Okay, but do you know if he has a pulse yet, at least?
We want to talk to her. She said in the back of the van.
And she's pregnant too.
Yeah.
You guys are going to Rainbow Babies? Okay, we'll see you at the hospital.
With the mother in distress, the officer instead heads inside to speak with a store employee in the hopes of getting more information.
She says she was at a water park somewhere and her baby fell. She came in here and asked me if I would call 911. She said if nobody would call 911 for her. I don't know where it happened, but when she got here, the baby was unconscious.
He also learns the mother had a second child with her, and they both arrived in a double stroller.
The one that's in the ambulance,
Let me know where I'm going,
the one
and then I'll go
that's,
back to you.
was perfectly fine was back here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so she had 2 kids in the stroller. This one's dead. This one's alive. And she's pregnant. Okay.
So when me and the white guy came outside, he just straight unstrapped him and took him out and laid him on the ground.
CPR.
And gave him CPR until you guys got here.
Your excuses now.
Backup arrives and quickly gets caught up to speed.
Okay, so mom's right here in this white van. Karan's in the back of there. They've got a 3-year-old. They're working on him. I don't think she's not conscious, not breathing. They're doing CPR right now.
Do we know the circumstances?
Not the mother's hysterical right now, so I didn't even try to talk to her.
in the white van?
She's in the white van in the back. Yeah, she's got another.
Make sure we get her information.
Yeah,
Please.
The mother is identified as 30-year-old Tamika Eggleton, and she's transported along with both children, 3-year-old Curtis and 1-year-old John, to Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital. Meanwhile, officers attempt to figure out where Curtis may have suffered the fall, but hit a dead end.
she said this happened at a water park. Is there like an outdoor kids
That's
pool
what
or
I'm
something
saying. Not
down
that I
here?
know of what kind of sprinkle machine would be over here. Because if it is, she walked out.
No. She came in here with the kid already injured.
With no water parks nearby, officers radio their colleagues at the hospital, hoping they can ask the mom for a specific location.
Very hard to get any information from her right now. She's crying. She said the kid fell on his head at the water park. She put him in the stroller just for a little bit so he, calm down and recover.
But where's the water park? This is like a shopping center. I don't see there being a water park close enough that you could walk from there to here.
Covered. And then moments later, this happened. The little kid was unresponsive.
Tragically, just 40 minutes after the initial call to 911, 3-year-old Curtis Witcher was pronounced deceased. His autopsy the next morning would shatter any notion of an accidental death.
I knew he was dead, but it's still just so sad when it gets announced. Because look at this baby. He's so precious.
And following several shocking discoveries, his death was ruled a homicide. Tamika's 1-year-old is removed from her care and an investigation begins. Detectives soon learn that 3-year-old Curtis had only recently been returned to Tamika's custody in January after spending most of his life in foster care. Protective supervision ended only 3 months ago.
Why was he taken away from you?
I was hospitalized with him when I was pregnant for a couple months. I lost my home because I couldn't pay my rent because I was hospitalized for all them months. Basically, I grew up in foster care. I have no support, so they thought I couldn't take care of him because I didn't have support.
But this isn't the whole truth, and as the investigators are about to learn, getting any semblance of honesty from Tamika will be easier said than done.
Damn.
Already she's told an egregious lie about where Curtis suffered his injury, one that's easy enough to disprove. While at the hospital, Tamika told an officer the name of the splash park was at the Lonnie Burton Recreation Center, a 2-mile walk from the Family Dollar.
Can you hear?
This child hit his head 2 miles away, and you want to a random Family Dollar to find him help? There wasn't anything along that stretch that
Recreation Center,
somebody could
a
have
2-mile.
There was no one between here and here that could have helped you? Are you fucking kidding me?
Walk from the Family Dollar.
Can you hear me, Sergeant?
Yes.
All right. Did you review the video and download the video from Splash Park and the surrounding project buildings?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did I send you a photograph of the female I was looking for?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Did you see that female at any moment at the park on Wednesday the 14th?
No, she was never there.
Okay. And then
She was never even at the fucking water park.
you spoke to a worker there?
Yeah, we have a resident worker who mans the splash park when it's open, and she never saw that female or those children there either.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Sarge. I just wanted her to hear it.
You're welcome.
All right.
We was at that splash park.
Yeah. In the day and age of cameras, I find myself getting more and more annoyed that people think that they can just lie about crimes. And then they're like, well, what do you mean you proved it with cameras? There are cameras everywhere. They have CCTV covering almost every angle. And then you've got people with their own cameras. I have my own camera. Like, if you're doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, somebody is going to see you. Unless you live in the middle of bumfucking nowhere. People are going to see you. You're going to be caught on camera. You better have a plausible explanation for it. Or you're fucked. And what's worse is not being seen at all when you're trying to perpetuate a lie. So I want to know, how close does she live to that dollar store? Because she went there. So I want to know if she lives close to it, because that would just mean that the child died at home.
But even the paramedics who initially found Curtis in his tragic state noticed something was off with Tamika's story.
I guess she
But if
pushed,
he
she
fell
pushed
in
him
the
there in
water
the
park, how
stroller.
did he end up at Dollar General? And
Doesn't make any sense.
He didn't appear to be, but he was wearing a bathing suit.
Aside from Curtis being completely dry, paramedics documented something else that was even more alarming.
The report EMS is stating that Curtis.
Tamika's your mom's name? Well, listen, your mom's nothing like this lady, okay? This woman's a nightmare.
Was cold and clammy to the touch. When EMS arrived on scene.
As the detective steps out to take a phone call, his colleague gently presses Tamika to start telling the truth.
He had been deceased for some time, enough for his body temperature to give them that feeling of being cold and clammy. Does that make sense?
No, ma'am.
This child was cold. Oh my God. So this kid was cold. And you have been pushing him outside in a stroller. He should have been warm. He should have been hot even.
If he was unresponsive earlier than you thought, and you just don't want to say.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I didn't know.
He's with you, so
Yes, when he was in the stroller, thought he was asleep. Both of my kids were asleep. They do this every time I put them in the stroller and we take a long walk. They will fall asleep. I'm thinking my baby is asleep. I'm not thinking my baby's dead or none of that. I'm not thinking like that. Just calm down.
When he returns, the detective shares a disturbing detail from Curtis's autopsy, one that sets Tamika on a defensive path.
He actually had marks across here, and they were like almost like whip marks, okay? And they call pattern, so it was consistent all through his midsection. Okay, bad enough where even the tip of his penis was damaged.
Oh my God. What is it with these fucking people that every time they're beating on their kid, it's always the genitals. You never can get away from it. There's always some kind of mutilation or something. Why? Why is it always this? You people fucking make me sick. I cannot stand this shit. Every time it's a kid case, it's always that. It's always that.
Unsettling as it is, the worst details are still to come.
I don't whoop, sir. Right-handed. I don't whoop my kids.
Then who does?
Robert chastised them. Well, not them, but Robert chastised them. I don't whoop my kids.
Robert is the father of 3-year-old Curtis, as well as the 1-year-old and Tamika's unborn child.
Describe that then. What's he do?
Like he'll pop them, or like he'll punch them, or not not with a lot of force, or he'll hit him in his thighs. If he pee on himself, he'll chastise.
Investigators later sat down with Robert in an effort to confirm her claims, but by his account, Tamika is solely responsible for discipline, as he doesn't live with her and is rarely around the children.
So you don't know what her form of discipline is?
In my eyes, put him in the corner, don't give him no snacks. That's what she presents to me.
I don't whoop my kids. I do. You stand in the corner. That is my punishment, because I know how it feels to get beat. Punishment.
I'm just gonna bring up something. When somebody has been in foster care or anything like that, they do have a significantly harder time being able to adopt or be a foster parent, just because of abuse they might have suffered, and they make it harder for them to then adopt children because they're afraid that a cycle might perpetuate. It sounds like a cycle was perpetuating here. She went through this, put her child through it, and now he's dead. Also, how fucked up is it that she has 3 children with this man and doesn't let him live with her? Or doesn't even try to live with him? I don't know what that's about.
Is standing in the corner. I never whoop my kids. I don't pop my kids. I don't whoop my kids. I don't do none of that.
She would want me to pop him and pee on herself.
She wants you?
She want. Like you say you gonna want him, but you don't.
Tamika claims that 3-year-old Curtis often wet himself and peed in his bed during the night, something that made Robert particularly angry.
Did Robert put his hands on you?
Yes.
How physical does that get?
Bad. One time, he gave me a black eye. I had to cover it up because I didn't want them to take John John. I'm stupid and I stayed, but he's all I had.
During one supervised visit in February, just 4 months earlier, Tamika reported to a caseworker that Robert had been abusing her for months and struck Curtis after he urinated on himself. Robert, however, denied any abuse at the time and said that he would stay away from Tamika.
He all I had.
So that's why he doesn't live with her. Well, I mean, now seeing this, it definitely looks like she was the abuser, not him. She was the only one with the children, and one of them is dead. So, what does that tell you? Oh my God, that's so sad. And she's pregnant again?
All I have, and if I get him in trouble, I have nothing. I have no support. I have nobody. Literally, I have nobody.
What are you protecting? What happened? Are you willing to go to prison for the rest of your life for Robert?
No.
There's no protecting anyone at this point. We need to know.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I know.
The more you continue down this path of trying to cover something, you're going to separate yourself from the child that you have now, and you're going to separate yourself from the child that you're carrying.
Finally,
honestly, I don't think she should be around either of those kids. Honestly.
Tamika begins to open up to the detectives, sharing what happened on the morning of Curtis's death.
Robert gets up before me. That's when I had woke up, and I'm like, it's still dark outside. Like, what is he crying for? You know, he's like, oh, I just whooped him because he just peed through the bed. And if y'all go to my house, y'all will see his drawers, the same drawers that he had on when he went to sleep, is sitting in my bathroom on the floor, pissy. His whole bed is still pissy, and that's in the living room.
Though not on the bathroom floor, crime scene investigators do locate a pair of stained children's underwear in Tamika's apartment bathtub.
He wasn't himself.
That is something. It's definitely something. It sounds like she needed a lot of professional help after getting out of foster care, but she was just turned out on the street. And so she got with this guy, started having kids, and not taking care of her mental health and not taking care of probably rage issues she got from abuse that she suffered in the foster home. That's exactly what it sounds like. And now a child is dead. A child that should have never been given back to her. And now she wants to blame all of this on this man. But you were the only one in the home with the child, so clearly you were the one hitting him.
that morning. After he whooped him, he wasn't himself. He was coughing. He wasn't himself. He didn't want to eat. He didn't want to drink nothing. I made his favorite food. He didn't even want to eat the pizza. That's still, nigga, I'll go to my house. I even wrapped it up in aluminum foil, put it in a plastic bag. We was gonna eat it when we got home. He didn't even want to eat. He didn't want to drink no water. He didn't want nothing. He didn't want anything. So I'm thinking, okay, he probably just not on it. He not feeling good. That's what I'm thinking. You know, I'm not thinking, you know, he about to die or none of that. I'm not thinking none of that. He said that his chest was hurting from his dad whooping him. And when I confronted Robert about it, I was gonna be next. I'm so sorry. I should have never let him whoop him. I didn't know. I didn't know how severe it was.
The detective.
Yeah. Thank God this baby, the one she's pregnant with, will never know. Because she's going to go to jail. She's going to go to jail for a while. So, good news. That baby will never have to worry about this. Thank God. I feel for John.
Moves closer to Tamika, offering her comfort as she urges her to own up to an earlier lie.
So you never went to the splash park?
No! That was a story he told me to tell.
Who told you to tell?
Robert. Robert told me to say that. Robert, I don't want to get hurt anymore.
Why would Robert tell you to say you took them to the park?
Because we just got them back. We didn't want to lose them again.
Okay, but who was he afraid of finding out?
But child services.
From what?
Okay, Robert wasn't even supposed to be around them.
Okay.
At all. They didn't want Robert around the kids at all because he was beating on me. They didn't want him around them, but I was still allowing him because that's their dad.
Yeah.
Robert has yet to hear any of Tamika's allegations against him. When asked, he openly admits that despite promising to stay away from Tamika, he spent the night with her on the eve of Curtis's murder. But by his account, Curtis was fine and unharmed when he left for work early the following morning, where he remained all day until receiving the tragic news of his son's death over the phone. Still, investigators act on Tamika's.
I just want to take a minute to think about that. You're at work. You left your girl's house who you have 2 children with and have another baby on the way. She has accused you of beating her. So you can't even live with her and your children full time. And yet you're still going back. The next morning you leave for work thinking everything's fine. Everything's great. That was such a good time. I'm happy. My kids are happy. I get to see the woman I have all these children with. I don't know how he feels about her emotionally. But you get a phone call while you're at work that your 3-year-old son, who you just got back from foster care, is dead. He's dead. He was abused. You don't know what's going on. And now you're here. That's just crazy. That's just a crazy thing to think about.
Claims, not realizing the story they've been told is about to take a much darker turn.
You're going to be under arrest right now.
I love my son.
I understand.
I've done nothing.
This is nothing personal, but because it's a
I love my man.
That
was my little man. I love my man.
You're going to be held overnight. We got to verify her story because she made a whole bunch of allegations.
That was my little man.
Okay.
He should have stayed in foster care if he was going to be like this. I would have left him there. He would have been better off there with them.
Robert's sister, who has been suspicious of Tamika's story from the start, enters the room to comfort her brother, and the detectives explain why he's been placed in handcuffs.
She finally admitted that she's not going to the splash park. Okay. But she's saying that she had to say that because Robert told her to stick to the story or you'll never see the kid again.
Just hold on, Poppy. Just hold on, Poppy. Just hold on, Poppy. That's why you have your job. That's why you have your job to back you up. And
so that's what we have to look into. And this is the key point. Okay, Curtis was heavily abused. He had bruises from head to toe.
The signs or what may have you, like, we had our suspicions.
Trying to tell me something.
Yeah, him, not being able to use the bathroom, potty train correctly.
He always cry when I leave.
So it was like, we kind of figured, but we didn't know.
Robert did mention that she wanted him to discipline, but he said he didn't, he would.
And he never, we never, like, we believe in disciplining our children, but not to that mental he always wanted to be.
Say with my daughter, she'll tell you how much she loves me and how much I love her.
And my children, he'll raise my two children.
With him, how much I love him when he with me.
Robert claims that he wasn't even told why his son was placed in foster care in the first place. But according to police records, Curtis was removed from their care as an infant due to neither parent being able to provide stable housing, as well as Tamika's ongoing mental health issues, which, quote, interfere with her ability to provide adequate care for the children. Further records reveal that Tamika has lost custody of all of her children except 1-year-old.
Oh my God. She has 5 kids? Okay, so she has an 11-year-old that she lost custody of. They don't know who the father is. An approximate 8 or 9-year-old who's in the care of the father's grandfather. Okay. A 7 to 8-year-old. And then Curtis, and then John. So she's lost 5 children. She's pregnant with her 6th. Why was he given back to her? Why was he given back to her? Clearly she's unfit. His 3 siblings were all removed. Why was Curtis and John even with this woman? Clearly something's wrong. Oh my God.
John.
Then she mentioned about she had another baby that passed away, but he was buried in Georgia. She never mentioned the baby's name or anything like that. And all she said was, I got a child here and a child in Georgia that's already buried, and I don't know if I want to bury my child or cremate. We never even knew about the birth of the other
girls and another boy.
Curtis's foster mother, Michelle, raised and took care of him since he was just 1 week old. According to court documents, Tamika attended weekly visits, bonded with the baby, and even fed and changed him. However, as time progressed, she began threatening and cursing at caseworkers, refusing to take her medications, failing drug screens, and visiting less often.
On 8/5/20, it was noted that she engaged in counseling, but is not honest with the counselor. She did not take medication nor see a psychiatrist. She asserted she was allergic to wool. Missed 8 out of 11 Skype visits. refused to give the worker her number. When asked, she said, "Bitch, I'm not recording your..." Oh, wait. Okay. She refused to give the worker her number and instead said to talk to her therapist or her attorney. Miss Eagleton stood behind the worker's car and appeared to take a photo of the worker's license plate. When asked, she said, "Bitch, I'm not recording your license plate." What the fuck? She got angry on a visit because she was redirected, which she had tried to give the baby fruit punch. She was also told to wear a mask. She started going off when told they needed to cancel the visit. Supervised visits continued. This is crazy. And yet they're like, let's give the baby back. She seems like she's doing great. Let's give the kid back to her.
But according to Tamika, she had serious concerns about their level of care.
I had an issue with the foster people whooping him. I have paperwork where I used to complain when my son used to come visit us with black eyes, bleeding in his ears. He had whips. He had scratch marks. He had all around his neck. He had scratch marks all around his neck. He had scratch marks. I used to complain about that, and they said there was nothing that I could do because he was not in my care.
This is far from the truth. While concerns were raised about Curtis's safety and well-being, those complaints came from his foster family. One report, for example, said Tamika was allowed overnight visits, but Curtis would return wearing the same clothes, which were soaked in urine. No complaints were made about the foster family regarding scratches, black eyes, welts, or bleeding while Curtis was in their care.
I should have protected you. I'm so sorry. Fucking so sorry.
Protected him from you? You should have protected him from you? Girl, you did this.
Reports also describe Tamika's lengthy arrest history, including for domestic violence, grand theft auto, resisting arrest, contempt of court, assault, and aggravated menacing. And despite a document...
You wanna know something?
Domestic violence, grand theft auto, resisting arrest, contempt of court, assault, and aggravated menacing.
Violence. 4 of these arrests center around being violent. And I'm supposed to believe that this child was violently hurt in her presence and it wasn't her fault? When she has a history of violence?
And despite a documented history of not completing drug screens or attending counseling, in January of 2023, Judge Allison Floyd ordered 3-year-old Curtis to be returned to his mother's full custody and terminated protective supervision. In her order, she ruled that the child's return to the home of Tamika Eggleton, quote, will not be contrary to the child's best interest.
Wow.
The doctor said he had
Wasn't she fucking wrong? I hope she feels bad about that.
extremely amount bruising, a lot in the neck area, in the midsection, and a lot of what she considered blunt force trauma. She also said the damage that was the fatal damage was a laceration to his heart, and that is caused by something striking him, something hard. And according to the medical examiner, that he pretty much passed away immediately.
Given this fact, it's difficult to imagine Tamika would not have known the toddler was deceased before she placed him in the stroller, a part of her story that Robert's sister finds highly suspicious.
Okay, so I just realized I thought that she was wearing like a jumpsuit. Not her, but like Tamika. I thought she was wearing a jumpsuit. It turns out like that they gave her at jail. No, that's her regular clothes. I don't know why I thought she had a jail jumpsuit on.
She was like, well, I put him in a stroller and we walked to the plaza And she said that when she was at the plaza, that's when she turned around and noticed that Curtis was unresponsive. She said she just bust out screaming. And then it was a crowd of people. And she said that a man came and got him out the stroller and did CPR.
That is true.
And by the time the paramedics, the police came, he was already gone.
According to the autopsy, the 3-year-old was likely deceased before he was ever put in the stroller. Abrasions and lacerations covered his head, neck, and torso. The bruising pattern...
Okay. I'm just going to take a real quick... So, blunt force injuries, head injuries, contusions, abrasions to his cheek, lacerations, neck injuries. He had them on his lip, on his chin, on his neck. He had a fractured cartilage. This is all around his neck. Epidural hemorrhage. Oh my God. The injuries are innumerable. Torso injuries. He had contusions on his chest, abdomen, and pelvis, including his genitals. Patterned contusions on his stomach. Soft tissue hemorrhages in the front and back. Lacerations and contusion to the heart. Hemopericardium.
Consistent with being hit by a belt. He was struck with such force that it lacerated the back of his heart, causing his chest cavity to fill with blood.
I didn't know. I promise you, I didn't know.
He lost that blood so quick, he would not have lived for minutes.
I didn't know, sir.
This is the outfit. For some reason, I thought that was a jail outfit. I think because it's orange. But she didn't know. She didn't know that her child's chest cavity had filled with blood and he couldn't breathe. She didn't know. She couldn't figure that out when he was choking on his own blood. Okay.
What happened?
I'm telling you, that's what happened. That is exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened.
So you're telling me Robert beat him and left, and you put him in a stroller.
I didn't put him.
He hopped in a stroller.
Curtis put
and you walk around randomly.
I'm walking.
Okay.
I'm walking. And then I'm thinking that they both fell asleep. That he wasn't breathing. I didn't know none of that. I didn't know.
Surveillance footage shows Tamika casually walking down the street toward the Family Dollar. Her 1-year-old child in the back appears upright and alert, but 3-year-old Curtis is slumped over the front, completely unmoving in his seat. Given more time to think, Tamika recalls that Robert is the one who ultimately put him in the stroller.
He carried him, put him in his shoulder, put his seatbelt on him. We started.
This is such a crock of shit. I'm so sorry. This is a crock of shit.
Walking the path that we said, and we went our separate ways.
So when you guys, was Robert planning on going to Family Dollar with you?
I believe so. I can't really say. I believe he was, and he had received a phone call, and he kissed us, and he went his separate way.
But this remains to be seen, given Robert's claims he was at work all morning. Surveillance footage captures the moment she arrived at the Family Dollar around 3:08 p.m., but the video does little to support her claims that this is the moment she discovered the 3-year-old unresponsive.
So he went to work that morning, and he put the baby in the stroller at 8 or 9? It's now 3 p.m., so he's been in that stroller all day. She didn't feed him. She didn't do anything else. She left that baby slumped over in the stroller all day. I don't fucking believe that shit for 1 minute.
When she arrives, Tamika pushes the stroller to the side and simply stands around until a man hands her a flyer. She tucks it into the stroller and, without acknowledging her children, continues to simply linger nearby. Finally, she peeks.
All these people are standing here and they don't know there's a dead baby right here. They have no idea. If you saw a woman walking down the sidewalk, pushing a stroller with 2 kids, and one was just like laying over the thing, and then one was just sitting in the back looking around, would you assume that one of them was dead? Would you take a second look to see if either of those children was okay? It just feels so crazy.
Into the store, but doesn't appear to ask anyone for help before closing the door. Then, without ever once touching Curtis, checking for a pulse, or attempting to wake him, she heads inside and asks for a phone to dial 911. Only now does the gathering crowd realize the toddler is pale and unresponsive. Bystanders quickly pull him from the seat and lay him on the curb to perform CPR, while Tamika begins jumping up and down as if in a sudden state of panic. The store manager describes the whole incident as feeling staged.
Like, she didn't seem like a grieving mother. You know, she didn't, you know, we had asked her, like, so what do you want to do as an idea as far as services, stuff like that. She was walking around normally, you know, like nothing really happened.
Regardless, given Tamika's damning allegations against Robert, the detective says his hands are tied and he has no choice but to hold him in jail overnight while they investigate. Given a moment alone, Robert calls his daughter to explain that he won't be able to pick her up tonight.
Daddy?
I'm gonna leave you stay with your uncle because I told you, she said she's gonna tell her a whole bunch of stuff and they gotta verify my story.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll be out by tomorrow, okay? I know I'm gonna be out by tomorrow, but I love you. You know, love you more.
No, I love you more.
No, I love you more. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
He then talks to his daughter's mother, who speaks out in protest once she learns that Robert will be going to jail.
You can't put somebody in jail without, they can't do that. Like, what the f*** are they?
Downtown Justice Center.
Oh my God, because I'm currently at work, and at this point, I'm ready to come up there because that doesn't sound like something that should be happening, Bobby. And you trying to grieve your son, and they trying to put you in a jail cell to collaborate this, to collaborate that. And I understand, you know, but it just don't seem like proper protocol when you got somebody to say that I was at this place at that time. That's your story. You been with things for the baby. Ain't nothing ever happened to my child.
Still, they're told there's nothing anyone can do but wait for the evidence to come to light.
No, I love you, Bobby.
She brings up a good point. She's like, you're with our kid? Nothing ever happened to her. The only common denominator is that this woman is involved. This woman who has hurt other children, who has hurt other people. Like, she's clearly violent. Nobody gets arrested for aggravated assault, battery. Like, you don't get all these arrests for assault if you're not a violent person. That just doesn't happen.
I love you.
You're going to take care of this. We're going to get through this. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Investigators would later confirm that Robert got on a bus to work as early as 8:19 a.m., nearly 7 hours before Tamika would begin her walk to Family Dollar. Time cards and surveillance would prove he remained at work until he received the call about his son. Additionally, after speaking with a neighbor, investigators learned that Tamika would often talk about Robert, complaining that he would not discipline the children or so much as raise his voice. Tamika's own foster mother would go on to describe her as someone who could lie very convincingly, but the evidence speaks volumes. Robert was released after spending one night in jail with no formal charges against him. In a devastating discovery, Curtis's autopsy revealed evidence that he had been beaten repeatedly in the months leading up to his death, a reality that cut deepest for his foster mother, Michelle. After he was returned to Tamika, Michelle still tried to visit and look after him, refusing to stop caring for the child she loved and had planned to adopt. 5 days following the murder of 3-year-old Curtis Witcher, 30-year-old Tamika Eggleton was arrested and later indicted on 1 count of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, 1 count of felonious assault, and 1 count of endangering children. In September of 2023, Tamika gave birth to her new baby. According to court documents, the infant and her 1-year-old son had been placed in a foster care home together. On June 11, 2024, Tamika pleaded guilty as part of a plea deal, and 2 of the 5 counts were dropped. During sentencing, Tamika told the judge, "I should have never gotten him back. I wasn't fit to be a mother."
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Curtis's foster mother, Michelle, also delivered a statement. She faced Tamika directly and told her, "You are no mother. You're a monster."
Damn.
The judge sentenced Tamika Eggleton to a total of 31 to 35 years to life in prison, with 409 days credited for time served. If you'd like to see select new videos early and help us keep uncovering case files that rarely...
God damn. That is awful. I'm sorry. That woman, she makes me sick. She definitely wasn't fit to be a mother. She should not have had custody of her child. Of any children. Oh my God.